I remember the moment my world shifted, the exact second my heart cracked open and spilled its contents onto the floor. "You remind me of my ex," George said, right before he ghosted me 2 days before my birthday. I was turning 18, a big deal, and I thought I was on the brink of something beautiful. Boy, was I wrong. It's amazing how quickly things can turn sour, like milk left on the counter too long. I was just a kid, not even technically an adult at 17. I was lost in the chaos of college, navigating through classes, friendships, and the confusing maze of crushes and heartache. George, all 20 years of him, seemed like the cure to my teenage woes. I had a good head on my shoulders, at least that's what my mom used to say, but I couldn't help myself. I liked him. He was funny and charming, and he pulled a little more out of me than I thought was possible. But that charm faded fast. The message came like a thunderclap, a voice note that Mia, my best friend, showed me one random afternoon in town. My stomach twisted at the words spilling out. He didn't just miss the mark, he smashed it to pieces, treating me like a product, an object, not a person. "You should get pinned against the wall and slapped with a—" I can't even say it. My skin crawled. Who did he think he was? I felt my cheeks heat, not from embarrassment, but from a blooming rage I wasn't sure I knew how to handle. It was a surreal moment. I was staring at my phone, and the world around me seemed to drop away. After I heard that, I felt the rush of adrenaline, as if I were standing at the edge of a cliff, staring down at the chaos waiting for me below. I immediately shared it with the rest of our friend group, hoping they'd back me up. The looks on their faces shifted from shock to disgust. "That's not okay," they said, frowning with concern. I sensed my heart beating a little faster, not for the adoration I once felt for him, but for the support of my friends. They were right to be disgusted. I wasn't the immature brat he called me. I was learning who I was. George, the big boy who played Fortnite and wanted a sugar-coated relationship, couldn't handle the backlash. I mean, he was the one sending those horrendous thoughts out and expecting me to sit in silence. Mia told him what everyone felt. He was losing his friends, all because he treated me like a toy. I didn't blame them for severing ties. I wanted to scream it from the rooftops. But we took it further. We spoke to safeguarding, exposing how he spun his narrative around to make me seem like the villain. Such a coward. Days passed, and I thought I'd moved on. College life went on as usual, until I logged onto Instagram and saw his picture, the smiling face that triggered my rage once more. I decided it was time. The plan formed in my mind like clouds gathering before a storm. I created a fake account, carefully crafting it to seem like another girl who had just swooped in. When I added all his followers into a group chat, I felt like petting the cat before dropping it from the roof. With a few hits of my fingers on the keyboard, I posted everything he said. It felt liberating. Each person's reaction was like music to my ears. Their shock, their outrage, it was delicious. One by one, they unfollowed him, and it made my heart sing. He was left in total isolation, and it was only the beginning. Within a week, George was a ghost of his former self. I can still see him standing alone on campus, his face crumpling into a mask of confusion and anger, pacing the halls like he was searching for someone to blame. I watched him, my heart hardened with an unsatisfying glow of vindication. His false bravado began to crack piece by piece, and I delighted in the way the whispers followed him as he passed. No one wanted to be seen with him anymore. I knew he'd been outed, but the rush didn't stop there. I wanted him to feel the isolation I felt when he tossed me aside to reflect on his actions. He could feel the weight of what he had dished out. The sweet taste of revenge lingered, leaving me more empowered. I had taken back my narrative and so much more. I was on fire, the spark of justice igniting within me. Finally, the moment of truth arrived. Someone tagged me in a post that showed George, visibly upset, confronting Mia. He was red-faced and shouting about betrayal, but it all felt hollow. I felt no sympathy for him. Although I could hear the words escaping his lips from across campus, they brought me a strange satisfaction rather than dread. I had planted the seed of his downfall, and it was sprouting. Where did I go wrong? He yelled at Mia, his image all askew within my mind. I couldn't help but smirk, almost laughing out loud at the way he crumbled. The universe had its way of righting itself, and I was prepared to watch it unfurl. He fell from the pedestal he'd built for himself, and I stood back with a cocktail of grief, rage, and liberation, mixing it into one potent drink that wouldn't fade. Eventually, George became a cautionary tale among our peers. "Don't be like him," they said, their voices thick with warning. It was surreal to watch him unravel, to feel the weight of my actions seep into my bones, reminding me that they mattered. I had been wronged, yet I flipped the script. I became stronger, unyielding in a world that once tried to break me. I moved through college with renewed vigor. My laughter and spirit returned. I was no longer the girl hiding in the shadows. Instead, I was her, the one who took a stand. I remembered that pain, that heartache, but I wore it like armor from that day forward, knowing that I had sought justice, that I had turned revenge into empowerment. Life isn't always fair, but sometimes, just sometimes, it allows us the chance to reclaim what was taken. I'd be damned if I didn't take it. Life rolled on, but I was no longer the girl George could belittle. I was unapologetically me.